Welcome, Crater fans. This is a talk from Crater Remote Conf Mobile Edition. This talk focuses on building mobile apps using JavaScript. You can find out more information about upcoming Crater Remote Confs at conf.crater.io. Enjoy the talk. Welcome back to day 3 of Crater Conf Mobile Edition. I am Josh Owens, and I'm pretty excited about everything we have lined up for today. Just real quick, I wanted to mention our sponsors. The first one is Raygun, and if you're trying to get your application into production, there are things that you need to be concerned about, and some of those are tracking errors and the performance of delivery of code. And Raygun has a suite of tools that can help you with that. So you should check them out, raygun.io. The other one is NativeScript, which is backed by Telerik, which is part of Progress now. They've created an open source framework for building truly native mobile apps with TypeScript and Angular 2. Use your web skills to get native UI and performance on Android and iOS. So today, our first talk is from Danish Mohammed. He is one of the founders of Kadira, which is a company that originally started building performance tracking for media applications, but lately they've been working on something called Storybook, which helps you create React UIs. And today he's going to show us about the React Native stuff that they've been working on as well. So I will turn it over to him.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tanish. I'm one of the co-founders of Kadira Tools. These days, we are working on a project called React Storybook. And recently, we started the Storybook for React Native. It's basically a tool which lets you focus your UI development to a particular component at a time. I'll explain it later. What I'm trying to do today is try to explain how to build application prototypes faster and how Storybook can be used to do that when you're going to do it. The thing is, when we are building app prototypes, we usually end up spending time on things we don't want at the beginning of an app. Like, you see, there are a couple of things which takes lots of time and which can be done at later stages of a project. So when you're starting something new, or if you suddenly come up with a brilliant idea, there are things you should do first, and there are things you should do later. How you do this can either speed up or even slow down your development time pretty much. Okay, let's get to it. The first thing is always try to start with the user interface, because maybe at the beginning of an app, maybe you yourself maybe don't have a good idea of what it's going to do. So when you build the UI itself, you can understand it better. And when you're writing UI, also only write parts which serve the purpose of the app. Like it's basically trying to tell you to avoid writing login forms and maybe contact and about pages and stuff like that at the beginning. Just forget about that. Yours. There's a demo app. I'll show you how we can what I mean by this one. The next thing is avoid these things when doing prototypes. Forget backend servers. Just you play with dummy data. Don't use API servers when prototyping user interfaces. It doesn't even make sense, right? because you are building user interfaces, you don't necessarily need backend servers for it. And the next one is user authentication. Uh, some people start their projects by building a better login system, and they spend the first a couple of weeks optimizing it and maybe pairing it with other services. At the end of the day, they have a good login system and nothing else. So you see, these things take awful lot of time and don't immediately serve your application. And user permission, something similar. And next one is try to use cloud services when you start your app. There are awesome cloud services like Firebase for database, real-time data and many other stuff, and maybe Auth0 for authentication. If you use these, you can save hours, maybe even weeks or months of your development time. And when you're starting a new project, you don't want to spend time building database servers and stuff. And there's also another good feature come with using managed cloud services, because you don't even have to worry about scaling your services because they do it for you. If you use your Firebase real-time database and suddenly your app kicks off and comes up on Reddit or something, and thousands of people start using it, you don't have to worry about scaling your backend because it's already on Firebase and Google is doing it for you. The same with Auth0. And the thing about Firebase is it comes with lots of features you can use straight out of it, like user authentication. They even have static file hosting for web applications. So we can really start working on these things quick. Okay, and next, when you are building applications, try to build navigation part of it later, because it also takes lots of time usually. Because you always try to do it in a good way, organize your views and your maybe routes or something better, and these things also change a lot when you're building your app. So try to do it later. For mobile apps, I'll tell you how you can just forget about navigation when you're starting your application. Okay, let's go write some code. Okay, that's easier. Uh, because everyone's talking about Pokemon Go these days, will build an app that can be useful for Pokemon Go players. Okay. We are going to use Storybook to help us with development. So let's install it first. Go to GitHub repo, it has all the information you need. And when you're starting, install the npm module. And while it's working on it, let's copy this stuff here, and this. And this one. Okay. Now let's start it. Just start your React Native package server with npm run start. and then your storybook. Work. Okay.
Can you make
Next.
your fonts a little bit bigger?
Okay. Wait. Maybe I can do this. Josh, is it okay?
Yeah,
Hello.
that's better for me.
Okay. Okay. Now start the iOS simulator. Don't worry about the error. It's because we don't have anything to render. That's why. Okay. Let's write our first story. To write our first story, let's start with a simple hello world type component. Okay. Let's create a new file. Yeah. Uh, right. Let's save some time. Okay. I'll just get it. I'll just check out from my source. Okay. Never mind that. Let's import React and let's create a React components. You'll get the text one pops. Uh, Now the story. Import. Oh, you can just copy it from here. That's because we didn't load it here. When you write a storybook, you must load your story file inside the configure function, inside the function you passed configure. Why we are doing this is because it helps with the hot module reloading system. Uh, with Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, let's see. Um, let's import those. Uh, and we have our hello world story. It's hidden behind this. Let's add some styles to make it to center it. Okay, I like to keep my styles in a separate file. Let's call it style.js. In React Native, we use the JavaScript to define styles. Let's export one, line items, center, and justify center. Import styles. Equals style dot. Okay. Yeah. So you see, any changes we make in our component or the story itself, okay, will reflect. Let's use a property. Okay, it's empty, and let's give it some default. Give it a default value. And make it and get the code from here. Yes. And let's give it a pop. And so you see, if you make changes in our stories, you can immediately see how it will look like in your React Native app. In this case, in an iPhone 6. Let's try changing this a bit. Okay. Maybe you get the point, right? And the thing is, uh, from from what we have done is, instead of creating a new app, we just created a small component of it and we are immediately seeing how it looks in an iPhone. Uh, and we can work on it uh, without worrying about anything else in our app. Let's start with a good component this time. I'll duplicate this one to save some time. Let's call it uh, Pokemon view. And we'll import the map view component here. And let's import it. And so you see, it shows up in our Storybook web app, and you select it, uh, it should show up here. And this one also needs some styles to work properly. Let's make it flex the entire screen. Okay. And we can let's make it show the user's current location and change follow it. And show it. If you are working on an app with a map view, uh, there's one available default on React Native, but it only works for iOS. I mean, for this demo, we'll just go with it. Uh, if you need a cross-platform map application, you can. There are many available. You can use one of those. So, the application we are building now is something to alert fellow. Okay, the Pokemon Go game. How it works is when you find a Pokemon in real world, uh, you can just go and catch them, and it's, and how users can work together is if you find a Pokemon somewhere, you can let your friends know that there's a Pokemon available in this particular location. So what we are trying to build today is a simple app to do it for us. And now we have the map view, and let's add some locations. I mean, let's mark where Pokemon should show up. Okay. And for that, we might need to get uh, the, the marker's location as a React property. Let's define how it should the input types. Let's call them alerts. Should be an array, and default should be an empty array. And let's add some annotations. Yeah, the map view only works. The map view which comes with React Native currently only works with iOS. There are a couple of other cross-platform implementation like map, React Native Map GL. Uh, this this one's used quite a lot in many. I've seen it in many places. You can try it out. And yeah, this one's also good. Uh, um, why I didn't use one of these cross-platform things because it takes a while to set up because you have to create a Google Maps API key, and then so that's why I went with the one which comes with React Native. Okay, let's get back to there. Mm, Let's wait. I'll get it later. Okay, uh, let's copy the code from the report because it saves a lot of lots of time. Okay. And fine. Uh, let's add another story, and this time we'll add some markers with it. Some stories here. And select this one, and you see there are three markers visible on the map. Those don't look really good. Okay, let's change it. To use images, you just require them and use them. And when you do, uh, if you add an image or some file, a static file like that, always restart the React Native package server. Otherwise, it will show this error. No need to restart the Storybook. And now it should work. Let's see. Fresh. With markers. And let's try changing it. Right. Okay. So you see, now we have built uh, one of the important features of our app. I mean, we are getting things done, right? I mean, instead of working on a login page, user registration, and stuff like that, we are working on what really makes our app. Uh, I mean, what it does, what it's supposed to do. Really. Yeah, you see those a lot. Uh, okay, okay. Let's wrap this up and get back to the talk. Okay. The next component, when you're writing components, try to compose components into one. Uh, Usually, when how your React Native this view should look like is you have the map, and on top of that you will have some other different controls like submit button to publish new markers and stuff like that. So instead of writing everything into a single component, try to break them up a bit. And in this example, we already wrote the React Map view component, and what we are going to do is write a new one called Pokemap page, and let's add this map into it and some other stuff as well. I'll duplicate this one. Oh, I'll just duplicate this one. Yes, that's easy. Yeah, you know, red screen of blue. Fresh. It works. With this import a view from router here. So it Pokemap page. And when setting, when sometimes you have to get props for your nested components, and when we are doing it, we can just use prop type validation rules from the nested component itself. Let's say, yeah, we are getting alert property here, and we are just going to pass it to our map later. So let's use prop types from Pokemap view class itself. So if we change it there, it should also reflect here. No need to add default props for it because it should happen inside. Um, yeah, comments, and here salary and map view here. And that's it. Ah, I missed from. Mm-hmm. Ah, yeah, let's fix it later. I'll get the code from here. It's always gets messed up when you're writing annotated things. Let's call this one for now. Hmm. Let's use the code from here as well. Okay. Like that. And sorry about that, guys. Missed up. Okay. Let's load stories from Pokemap page. And it should show up here. Oh, it should change this one. and it also needs some styles. Okay, and what we need next is a submit button over here. Uh, we can write the button in this component, or better, we can just create another component for that button. Yeah, let's get the code from here because it's much easier. And add a button and its styles. Okay, and let's add the button over here. Okay, now we have the button also. To get a better look, let's add some annotations. We can copy this one and just change it. Something like that. And load it over here. In the raw file. Okay, now it should work. Okay, so you see, if you start with the login page and stuff like that, you must be still working on those, and you won't have something to show at the end of the day. So what I'm trying to say is, in this application, what it's supposed to do is show markers where Pokemons come up and allow users to submit new Pokemons. So you submit new locations when they show up. So this is one of the most important views in this mobile application, and we just finished it. So That's the point, guys.
All right.
Right.
So thank you for the talk. That was pretty cool to see, like, just building the React components using Storybook. Appreciate that. And now, a brief word from our sponsors before you see the rest of the talk. Raygun. Spend more time building great software and less time fighting it. Raygun helps keep a watchful eye on your web and mobile applications and tells you when problems arise. You can learn more at raygun.com. NativeScript, backed by Telerik by Progress, is an open source framework for building truly native mobile apps with TypeScript and Angular 2. Use your web skills to get native UI and performance on iOS and Android. Enjoy the rest of the talk. Yeah, so
And,
Ryan asked what... Sorry, what?
hello?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. I'd like to share that URL for the repo we just did.
Oh, yeah, okay. The repo.
They can check the code there. It will be easier.
Awesome. So Ryan asked, what exactly is the point of Storybook? What does it offer you? I've not been able to figure out from your talk what exactly it was giving you that you would not already have just with the React Native client.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, so Ryan asked, like, what exactly is the point of Storybook? He's not sure what he gets with Storybook over, say, just using the React Native command line tool.
Okay. This is one of the features. So you see, what I'm trying to say is, over here, we don't load the exact app, right? I mean, we didn't even write the complete app itself because there's lots of other things to write. We just pick a simple UI and we just work on it. In this case, first we did the hello world. I mean, those things are different parts of the application. Maybe, I mean, we don't have to worry about anything else because we work on single component. We work with a couple of scenarios, how it should behave, and we can just focus and work on it without worrying about anything else. That's kind of one of the main things to do with Storybook. Did I answer your question?
So I think for me, like, the thing that I got out of that is that you were building the components without having to worry about hooking it up to a database or a reactive data source, or you weren't worrying about user accounts. Like, you're just building the individual components that you need to create the mobile application.
I mean, you don't even hook it up with your mobile application. You just work on the component itself.
Yeah. So it's allowing you to focus on building a React component or a React Native component that's fully functional, that you can then go back and plug in and hook up in your application later. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the point.
And then there's also some integration with testing as well. With is that true or no?
For storybooks?
Yeah, like Enzyme or no?
Not yet, I can say. But recently we had a couple of issues on React Storybook GitHub repo, and there are a couple of interested people. I mean, we are really, we should, we are going to check them out. I mean, and we certainly welcome contributions. Like you can just send a pull request, maybe set it up with Enzyme or something. And we'll also work on it when we have time. We are working on a couple of stuff right now. React Storybook, and especially React Native Storybook still needs more work to make it, even more easier to use. So tests tests. When we haven't, I can't confirm it might be a part of Storybook. Maybe to integrate somehow.
All right. So Sebastian asks, can you share with us your Atom setup?
Like plugins.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant. So I don't know if maybe you could pop those into the. I'll invite you into the Slack chat, and maybe you could pop in a couple plugins there for people that are following along.
Yeah, I'll put it on chat.
Okay.
It will be easier.
All right. And then someone asked, what is your terminal app? Is it the standard OS X terminal with some sort of skin, or is it something
No,
else?
it's item
iTunes.
too. And I'm using my Z shell with it. With the theme stuff.
Awesome.
And I'll put its config also on the chat.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Danish. Really appreciate it. I think it was a great talk, and we'll take a short break, and then we'll get started with the next talk in a few minutes. Thanks again. Thanks for watching this CreatorConf talk from the Mobile Edition 2016. For more information about upcoming conferences such as the one in February 2017, go to conf.crater.io to learn more.